Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be recapping my round 7 game that I played in the World Open. Now going to this game, I was with the black pieces and I had a score of 3.5 out of 9, and I was playing a 2185 rated player, which is another high rated. And he starts off the game with e4, I play c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4, trade, knight f6, knight c3, e5, and db5 and d6. And as you would notice, this was the same exact opening that I played in round 6 against my opponent, and I decided to play the exact same move that she played against me, bishop e6, and I ended up losing that game as white, so I thought, why not mess with success and try the same thing. So I obviously studied this variation like an hour or 30 minutes before the round started, and I just calculated all of the lines with knight takes f6, queen f6, queen d6, and rook ac8. And after all the variations, I end up becoming slightly better in every one of them. So I was slightly hoping he would trade, but unfortunately that does not happen. And he goes a4, a common idea in this opening to break open the queen side in this. And when your opponent does that, you trade off the pawns and go a5. And now you can get your rook on b8 and have a nice open file for your rook. Bishop c4 is played, I go rook b8, b3, and now I go bishop to g5. I don't want this knight f6 is actually going to be a potential threat, so I don't want that to happen, so I go bishop g5, castles, and now I go g6. Again, in game 6, I just trying to prepare f5 here. After knight c3, I go king h8, which is sort of waiting move here to see what he's going to do. And also, when I play f5, my it's sort of like slightly better, since like the bishop can't come into check if it ever captures my bishop. And also king h8 just getting out of the line of sight. So after queen d3 I go f5, he goes rook d1, and now I go rook b7. I'm just trying to protect my center potentially with the rook d7, or going rook f7 and trading out the pawns so I can have activity for my rooks. And now he goes rook a2, and now I go rook bf7, and now he goes b4, and here I calculated like a super long line, which is fe4, queen e4, and just a bunch of things with a takes b4, which is like a sample line I calculated was, I think, knight b4 and like bishop b6, and then there's some like knight a2 here, and then after like bishop f7, like rook f7, like queen c4, and I don't remember exactly like what the lines were. It's been quite a while, like about a month since the game has happened. But I calculated a bunch of complicated variations, and I think he ends up finding the best one, which is to trade off all these pieces and to take with the knight. And actually something I considered, but I never took seriously until like right now. And I was hoping my opponent would go queen takes c4, and then I could just go like knight d4. And then I thought, okay, with an active knight on d4, an active post, like active rooks, I have compensation for this b-passed pawn. But after knight takes d4, I thought, okay, I could just take the pawn. But after rook d2, d6 is under attack. There's this knight takes e5 threats that are looming, and I thought I could honestly just be busted here, or best case scenario for me, I would lose both these pawns and have to defend a worse endgame. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to still have chances to maybe push. So I just go knight d4. I just go knight d4 here. My opponent goes queen d5 now threatening some knight takes d6 stuff, and maybe also potential knight e5. And now I go queen h4. Queen h4 with some ideas of going rook takes f2 here. And now my opponent played knight takes d6, and my idea is now I would go rook takes f2, and he takes a pawn. Now we go king g8, and now this is the complicated question you have to ask is white better here? And actually, when I saw this line, I thought, oh wait, he's gonna take on d6 and I take on f2. I'm winning here. And the reason why I thought I was winning is after rook takes f2, I have this queen f2, queen f1 checkmate here, so he cannot trade. And I thought if he just does something random, like like queen takes d4, then I have like rook f1 check, rook takes d4, I also have rook f1 check, and let's just say like check and like something like super random like here, like I know this hangs a rook, I could have like knight f3 check and queen h2, so I also saw this idea, but and so with all of these threats looming, my opponent just makes a threefold repetition super quickly. But actually, there was two ways for him to save the position, and I'll let you pause the video to try and find them. One of them is actually this move h3 here, just creating some sort of look for his king, so there's no like 92, knight f3 check, and also after like anything back rank, you just go king h2, or you can actually go rook a d2 here. And the point is there's no knight f3 check because the h2 pawn is guarded. So yeah, it's unfortunate my opponent didn't see this. Had he saw like h3 or rook a d2, I think he could have honestly beat me here. Like, cause I'm down a pawn, and I think I would have had compensation. I would have definitely tried to hold this. Like I'm assuming the best play it's probably a draw, but again with this b pass pawn and with like knights on the board, this is very tricky for me to hold. And yeah, so that was my 7th round. It was kind of uneventful, I'm not going to lie, but I hope you learned something from that. And this recap is probably really short. Now I think about it, I didn't really know what to say. Like I play an opening that was played in my round 6. He found like all the best moves and just found like the correct ideas, stacking the rooks on the d file. I got my own counterplay, and after like b4, I saw this line that resulted in simplifying the position where white was like slightly better, but maybe didn't really find the best way forward, or so I thought, because actually he has rook a d2 or h3 here. But yeah, that's all for today. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, maybe you can consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I'm not forcing you to. And my next video will be my round 8 recap. I promise you round 8 and round 9 are way more interesting. So yeah, that's all for today, and I hope you all enjoy the video. Goodbye, everyone.